What's up, everybody? Oh, shoot. I got this feedback going. What's up, everybody? Oh, shoot. I got this feedback going. What's up, everybody? There we go. Like something is playing in the background. What is it? I figured it out. Got it situated. All right. So we here. We're going to wait a few seconds until we get some folks to actually come into the room and get this thing cracking. One of my guests is showing up. I thought I was going to do this thing solo dolo. So we'll see if he comes in. But ladies and gentlemen, we've kind of started an impromptu series on leadership. This wasn't supposed to be a leadership series. And that's a little rich calling it a leadership series, but it's just been dragging on longer than I wanted it to drag on. I wanted to tackle it in one day. I really wanted to tackle it in one conversation, but it looks like we're going to have to do this maybe even another week. We might be one more week in. It depends on how this conversation goes. Maybe we can go one more week and we can get some women here, because I don't think our women audience has yet to trickle in. We primarily get guys in here, it seems like, and I'm not really talking to the fellas. Most of my content is for the women. Can men benefit from it? Absolutely. But most of my content is for the fellas. Now, I pride myself on a demographic of people that we seem to forget. That demographic of people I consider to be losers. People seem to get offended when I use that rhetoric. The audacity of me to refer to someone as a loser. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe losers exist. If y'all don't believe losers exist, I get it. You don't agree, and to each their own. But yes, losers exist. And if you don't think you're a loser, my rhetoric, my content is probably not for you. Even though you can still binge it and consume it, you can still learn from it. It's not intended for you. You are not my target audience. My target audience are people who are female, who are African American or Black or Native to America, or what else would say? Melanated, whatever you want to call them. And they can be honest with themselves and say that they're tired, frustrated, lonely, weary, broken. They can openly admit that they don't know what they're doing and that they need help. If that's not you, I'm not talking to you. And you can save your critique for another podcast. You can save your critique for another YouTuber or influencer or what have you. But I'm not him. Leave me alone. It won't go well. Hold on a second. I'm getting a call. Oops. I thought I sent this to him. Oh shoot. I never sent this. Hold on. I shouldn't have called him so close to showtime. Anyways, let me reach out to my brother to see if he's still coming. He may have got my message late. He requested the link. I had something to do and I couldn't send him the link. So let me just call him real quick. He ain't answering. Anyways, y'all, we're gonna get this show started without him. So in the meantime, if y'all could do me a favor, I don't know what this does. I'm new to live streaming. I'm new to YouTube. This podcast space is new to me. I used to have a podcast a few years ago, back during COVID. I started a podcast and it was just an audio podcast. And I was really enjoying that space, but then it became a burden. Like doing a show every week, I was like, yo, I'm not really prepared for this. Anyways, I wish I would have kept on it because I started developing some momentum and I strayed away. I should have transitioned to YouTube a long time ago, but I got caught up in the whole IG live, going over there debating people, beating people up, embarrassing people. And it kind of got fun, and I got stuck in that abyss. I got stuck in that toxic cesspool of arguing with people. I don't do that over here. So when you ladies or any of you gents that think y'all have problems with me on social media, you can come over to YouTube. This is quote unquote what you call what, a safe space. It's a lot more comfortable, laid back over here. I do let people talk. I do want to hear what people have to say. I do want to have healthy dialogue, and I definitely would like to get us to a resolution. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a lot more productive to do that over here than it is on Instagram. You don't have as many of the technical difficulties. You don't have people just shutting your live stream down because you said something that violates their community guidelines, which you don't even understand their damn community guidelines because there's so many sensitive things you can't say. But one thing you can say is nigga. Oh, you can say nigga all day long. You can say nigga anywhere in America, and that's not offensive. But you say something about any of these other protected groups, even if it's not even really controversial, they'll take it down and they reserve the right to go investigate if it's worth keeping down or if it's to give you back your privileges. So, you get shut down over there enough times, you just be like, man, forget this. I'm gonna go somewhere else. So, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna talk tonight about leadership. We got this series going, an impromptu weird thing to turn into a series. I it started because I've had I have thousands of recorded hours on Instagram. There was a point where I think I deleted about 300 videos that had about anywhere between from 1 to 4 hours of content because most live streams can be at least an hour long, but I was at the point where I had 4 hours of live streaming. Some people don't have those privileges on Instagram. I do, and I recorded a lot of 4 hour streams. And I deleted about 300 of them. The reason why I deleted them is because a lot of people were getting embarrassed. A lot of people were crying in my DMs, calling me, begging me to take that content down. So I was just like, you know what? I don't get anything from beating up on these people. So I'll take it down. What's up, bro? I sent you the link. Oh, you good? Yeah, take your time, bro. All right, cool. All right, he'll be here in a minute. So, anyways, I was beating up on people so bad, I guess, that wouldn't their pride wouldn't allow them to digress from the conversation, and they kept going. And so the content just got worse as they kept going. And then once it's posted and they go back and they view it, it's like, damn, I got a job that I need to protect. And so they're begging me to take stuff down. So I just was like, cool, whatever. It wasn't making me any money. I wasn't benefiting from it. So I don't need to keep something up that's hurting someone or making them feel bad when it doesn't benefit me at all. So I was like, all right, cool, we'll take it down. So we just took it down. And we started up again. And lo and behold, same thing happened. Got like 300 some 400 videos of me just embarrassing people. So I was like, you know what, man, let me cut this out. Again, this ain't benefiting me. I'm gonna go somewhere else. So we landed over here on YouTube. How do we land on YouTube? Going on other people's shows, like my man JR over at the Peak Network. He invited me on his show, and I was doing what I do over there. And I was just like, you know what, man, let me just do my own thing. There's some stuff I want to talk about. I'm not a great host. I don't claim to be a great host, but I'll figure this thing out and I'll get better at it. I'm going to work diligently on putting together a better show so you guys don't have to watch something that's trash. But you know what? Him calling me just ruined my live stream on IG. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. I don't think I can. But let me see if I'm live on IG real quick, and I'll get back to this, and then we're gonna get started because he'll be here in a second. But Instagram is whack, man. I don't even know why they. Yeah. Well, I really don't even care if the live stream on IG is ruined. I mean, people need to come over here on YouTube anyway. Like, I'm not about to be catering to Instagram folk. They don't want to leave the platforms that they like, so stay over there. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm not even gonna. I'll try this one time because this will be nice to try to troubleshoot. Um, oh, I could do no. Can I do this midstream? I wonder if I can. Hmm. Let me see if I can do this midstream. That would be pretty cool. Mm. Mm. I can do this midstream. Oh. Oh shoot. Maybe it was already maybe it was already going. Anyways, we about to hold on. Is it going? Is it live over there? Somebody on Instagram. Can somebody tell me am I live on IG? Let me see. I think I ended it. Yes, I did. I ended it. Okay, cool. All right. All right. Here we go. We'll get it cracking again. All right. All right, I'm almost done. Hold on one second. All right. Come on. There we go. All right, we live on IG again. All right, so look, leadership. When I was over on the Lepeep Network, I had some conversations with people, and the conversation just wasn't going good. There was a lot of people getting offended because of things I say, and they'll always combat this. Well, men, y'all supposed to be the leaders. You men, y'all supposed to be leaders. And I was just like, since when? Since when? I don't understand why y'all think guys are leaders just because they have a penis. So I wanted to have conversations with people, but those conversations just doesn't seem to be had. Oh, it's possible. Oh wow! Now my Facebook stream just ended. Boy, this technology, trish ash. I probably said something. Oh, maybe Facebook don't like the nigga word now. Gotcha. Okay, now they want to be sensitive. Who knows? I'm gonna try to do this one time on Facebook, and if it don't work, who cares? All right, let me see. I'll try this one time. The only reason why I think this is cool that I'm having these technical difficulties is because I never understood how to stream on the Facebook. And I just figured it out today. And now as soon as I started streaming, they want to stop my stream. Whack. Super whack. All right, let's see if it's back. This is it. Okay. Um, you are live. Okay. You on Facebook. Uh I guess I'm live. Oh yeah, okay. We live. We live, ladies and gentlemen. So let me do one. Okay. So let me do one. All right. We are live on Facebook. We live on Facebook. We live on Instagram. Okay. Let's see if this continues. All right. So again, leadership. A lot of people want to refer to guys as leaders because they're born male. And I just don't understand how y'all come to that conclusion. So I've been asking the questions. Well, what makes the guy the leader? Because I don't believe that these guys have any leadership skills. They have no leadership experience, nor do they have any followers. So, how are you calling these people leaders? Why are you putting this responsibility on them? But I know the answer, but I want to see if they can articulate the answer. The answer is that they're looking for a scapegoat. When you want to hold someone accountable, you put them in a position that garners accountability. Leaders are people who are held accountable. Followers are not held accountable. It's so frustrating because people are disingenuous, and it's just it would behoove them to just be honest with at least themselves. Stop lying to you. You're not gonna lie to me. Well, you could try to lie to me, but I'm gonna see through your lies. So I'm gonna call it what it is. So I'm trying to hold off on talking about what I want to talk about until my guests show up, because I would like for him and I to have a discussion, and I don't want to have to repeat myself. I'm gonna give him another 2 to 3 minutes, and if he don't show up, I'm just gonna talk about it. So I'm going to give y'all an idea of what we will be discussing right now. So I took some notes, I wrote them down, and I wanted to make sure I hit on a few things. Some of the stuff is a little bit long-winded, so I need y'all to bear with me, because it's not really long-winded, but when you're typing, you're like, man, this is getting kind of lengthy. But I need to say all of this because I need to hit on all these points. But here's my first question to you. Oh, he here. Bet that time it was perfect. My man, my man, my man. What's up, my brother?
What's the deal, bro? What's the
I don't
deal?
like
What's
the
up?
way I said that. I don't like the way I said that. You know, everybody be talking about my man, my man, my man. Yeah, I don't
Nah,
like the
see,
way I
I
said
ain't.
that.
See, I'm from the East Coast, but we be saying that like that's my men's them over there, bro.
Oh
That's
no, no,
my
no, no. I'm talking about this new wave with these girls talking about whatever. Anyways,
I feel you. I
um,
feel you. I feel
here. So look, bro. I'm mad because there's two other people that I thought was going to be here tonight. One
you.
of
Yeah,
them, something came up, and something good came up.
yeah,
So, we wish him the best, and we hope everything is fruitful. There's no need for us to air it out right now, because he'll share it with the world when he's ready to share it with the world.
facts.
And the other guy, I don't know, but I had the privilege of speaking to him one time, and I thought you was going to reach out to him and make that happen. Did you reach out to him?
You know what's crazy? I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I didn't. I didn't. I got caught up in so many different other things. But he's not really even a platform debate kind of guy. He's really not. He be chilling. So he
No, no,
might
this
not.
ain't a debate. I don't do that over here.
Oh, okay. My fault. My fault. My fault.
No, it's all good. But this is why I was saying it would be good for your audience to experience, because over here we try to do things in a controlled way, allow people the floor to speak, hear them out, understand, do our best to try to understand where they're coming from, and have a good dialogue surrounding what they say. It's not about these gotcha, put you in the box, calling you a hand, calling you a lie, telling you dumb, you stupid, telling you to shut up. No, that don't happen over here. This is what y'all would call a safe space, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Because we want to see people get better, and the only way we're going to have people get better is to engage them in a way where they can be transparent, and they can share with us what we need to know, so we can then offer them some solutions to whatever issues that they're having.
Facts. Facts.
Make sense? All right, so I'm gonna put some topics on the screen, and then we're gonna talk about these topics a little bit, and then we're gonna dive into, or I'm gonna go into my monologue, so to speak, and talk about some things that I think we need to talk about surrounding this word leadership. So here's the first topic, or the first headline: Are men leaders?
You
What
want
do
me
you
to
say
go
to that?
first, or you? Um.
Hey, you the honored guest, brother. You the
Nah, honor
honored guest.
guess is crazy. Honor guess is crazy. Our men leaders, yes, I believe so.
Now, when we say men, we talk about men in general. We're not talking about like some men.
Nah, yeah, I mean that. Like, yeah, men are leaders. Yeah.
What makes men leaders?
I believe it's the God given call on us. You know, God put a specific. He designated us to be a specific kind of person, and put us in position to do so. And so, because God said it, I believe it.
I mean, can't argue with that. Good point. Um, do you believe the men are walking in the Well, I mean, hmm. So, do you think men who have no following? Do you think they're leaders?
I believe so. Yeah.
Explain.
Well,
Don't use
because
the same explanation if you could. If you could switch it up a little bit, that'd be good.
wait, say that again.
I said if you could switch it up, that'd be good. Because if the answer is always God ordained us as the leaders, then it's like, oh, okay.
Well, no, no, no. It wasn't. It wasn't. No, you know how I talk. It's not always. It's not always. It's crazy. Nah, bro. My thing is this. Um, leadership is not determined by followers.
Oh, I'm
Leadership is.
sorry, bro. We didn't even do a proper introduction, my man.
Oh, my bad. My bad. My bad.
No, hey everybody, this is my man Forrest Laurent. I'm tripping, bro. Listen, I'm a terrible host. That's not what
No,
I
you
do.
good. You good,
Hosting is
man.
not my skill set. I'm better at being interviewed because then I can fly off the wall, fly off the handle. I don't have to have any decorum. I don't have to think about people in the audience. I don't have to pay attention to comments. I
Yeah.
could just do what I do. So everybody, this is my man Forrest Laurent. We have some lengthy history now, dating back about 3.5 years, because we met right before my daughter was born. I don't know to what stage of the pregnancy we was at, but my daughter's now 3 years old. So that proves that we've been knowing each other for at least 3 years.
Yeah. Right.
And
Right.
Forrest and I have had some interesting conversations. We've had some debates. We've had, I don't know. I would say that if nothing else, with social media friends, I definitely see our friendship growing offline and more into like interweaving into each other's lives to some capacity, because we just have, I think we built a good enough rapport where that just makes sense that it will transition into that. But Forrest is would you say that you have you went to seminary school?
I did. Wait, can y'all hear me? Is it clear? Is it
Yeah.
muffled?
No, I can hear you clear.
Okay.
You went to seminary school, and how
Yeah.
do I
Yeah.
sound? Is my mic okay?
Yeah. You good. You good. You
Let me
good.
see, because I don't have my oops. I want to make sure my okay, yeah, my right mic is plugged in. So you went to seminary school. So Forrest is like the church boy that ain't a church boy, that's like a heathen, so to speak. Um, but he has a huge female following, and a lot of um times we've had some testy conversations because I had some choice words for his following, and then Forrest comes in to try to save the day, and so it just
Oh
created this back
man.
and forth. No, it just created a back and forth between us. So it's been fun, it's been interesting. But Forrest is, I would say, a motivational speaker, a coach, um, woman whisperer, so to speak. How
That's
would you
crazy.
describe yourself? That's how I see you. I see you as a
That's
coach. I
crazy.
see you as a motivational speaker. I see you as an influencer. What? How would you refer to yourself?
Honestly, I would just call myself a communicator. I just talk to people. I say that all the time. I don't call myself a life coach, a guru, relationship coach, a pastor, a minister. I don't designate any I don't do that. I just say I talk to people. That's it. So I mean, that's really all I say. And I'm being transparent with that. I don't put a name to it or a title to it, honestly.
Okay, I mean, that's cool. So, I just didn't know. I was like, I should have reached out to you first and found the proper way to introduce you. But I was just like, you know what? Let me just freestyle it real quick and tell people what I know of you and what I think of you. So, anyways, man, I thank you again for being here. I wanted the other brothers to be here because I wanted it to be a panel of gentlemen. We're supposed to have a panel of gentlemen talking about leadership. And at some point, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to open up the floor for anybody to come up and have this conversation with us. And Forrest, I don't know how much time you have, so if at any point you need to cut out, just give me a heads up so I can make sure I cover all the things that I want to talk to you about before you get up out of here.
Are you good,
Um,
bro? We have at least like an hour and a half. You good?
oh, okay, cool. We won't take that long because my live streams only last 2 hours max. So we only got an hour
Okay.
and a half before we're gonna shut this thing down.
For sure. For sure.
So um you say men are leaders. So even men who are have no following, they're still leaders. And explain, please.
Well, I believe that leadership in a man is not determined by his number of followers, but by the posture of his heart, honestly. So I know men who have no following, but they're great leaders in their own right. They lead their families in the right path. They're one, they're one or two friends. They lead them with their integrity, with their grind, with their work ethic. There's some men that I've met, Will, that literally have no following, no online presence, but every single man connected to them is winning because they're winning, and they know how to be the spear, the tip of the spear around their friends and around their people. They're not trying to be that, but some managers they naturally have that in them, So a leader has nothing to do with your following. It's everything to do with who you are as a man, and what
Well,
kind of.
when I say followers, I'm not talking about social media.
So you mean so what you mean is, do you literally have to have someone following you to be a leader?
Yes, I don't believe you can
Yeah.
be a leader without a follower. I think a follower must be present for a person to be a leader.
Well, now we're getting into a little bit of a deeper conversation because the thing is this: there were a lot of people who didn't have any followers behind them, whether it's one or two people following them, but from a young age, or from a from through the maturation process, they learned how to be that. They were always leaders, in my opinion. So that's just an opinion thing for me. Probably it's not rooted in like definition of fact or statistics, but I believe you're not. I don't believe leadership can be put in a box like that because the thing
Well,
is, I mean, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I agree with you that I believe you develop leadership skills.
Yeah,
I believe you have to get leadership experience, but I don't think you are a leader. Now, I do agree. I do believe, I'm sorry, that there needs to be two entities for it to be leadership. So I had a conversation with our fellow antagonist, real dope daddy,
yeah, I
and
remember. Yeah,
we had a conversation about it, and I was educating him because unfortunately I have to do that on a regular basis, and so I was making him aware that two entities must exist because he tried to use an inanimate object like a car and say a man is leading a car, and I'm just like, well, the car is still following. Like you have to have a follower present. Like you can say you're leading yourself. That may be true. But then you are then following your leadership.
for sure, for sure.
Without a follower, a leader cannot exist. That is a relationship that's contingent. The existence of a leader is contingent upon the existence of a follower.
Okay,
So
okay.
I think if people understood that, we will stop calling people leaders who have no following. You might have your kids might be following you. That's fine. Your parents could be following, your siblings, you could be following yourself. But without a follower, there's no leader.
Well, that's what I was referring to, mostly was because at first I tackled the question as though you were asking about social media. But then I kind of reverted because you said you took it in a different direction. So that's kind of what I was referring to. But even when I was in youth ministry, and I know you said don't bring it to God, but I
No,
can't
no, I
help
was
that.
saying don't. I was just
Um,
looking to see if you had another answer outside of that. No, definitely answer it the way it makes sense to you. I'm not trying to dictate how you answer
no,
questions.
you good, you good. Yeah, even when I had like young men and women who were around, and I would tell them, listen, you're a leader. Like it's in you. And I wouldn't say that trying to just be like extra in their face in their business. I would say that because they're, and I saw Silver Fox. I think that said what up said. I saw said say something that's actually very true. He said leadership traits does not make you a leader. I can see that, and I can't concede to that. However, um, I don't believe that traits are there that are that apparent and that glaring if they're not already if not a leader. Because being a leader in this generation, in this culture, in this stage of life, in the history of humanity is very, very difficult. It is. So I mean, I don't believe those traits are there by accident. I don't believe that they're there by happenstance. I believe they're there because they're leaders. Maybe the people around them haven't realized it yet and haven't begun to follow them. But now we're getting to the conversation of are you a leader only when others recognize you as one? So it's like I think there's a beautiful duality to leadership traits versus being an actual leader of people. And I don't think you can discredit one or the other.
I, I definitely think I would agree with you. So I agree and disagree. No, I disagree. I disagree.
All right, go
I
ahead.
understand where you're coming from. It
Mm-hmm.
makes sense where you're coming from. Because you're talking about good leaders. You're talking about people who have integrity, which we're going to talk about that. You're talking about people who have empathy, which we're going to talk about that. You're talking about people who have more, I mean, their morals are in check. But there's quote unquote bad leaders too. Would you
Right,
say like, people
right,
who maliciously do harm, um, like people who form cults to do their bidding?
right.
That would be bad leaders, but they're still leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they're leaders because they have a follower, not because of the traits, because traits can be learned, or I shouldn't say traits, skills can be learned. A woman is not set to be a leader, but you can teach a woman to lead. And if she exercises the skills. I mean, if she develops the skill set, she'll lead.
Yeah, for sure, for
We're
sure.
not necessarily. I don't think we're born with the traits. I believe that we're born with the ability to step into a position. Like there's a space given to us to step into that position. Women have to fight and claw to be in that position because I don't think men naturally will follow women.
But here's my question off what you just said. So if someone is born and they have to step into that, isn't that a leadership skill stepping into that? Because
Yeah, when you
if
develop a skill, you can step into it and operate like
right,
when
but when you
Real
step
Adult was
into
talking.
that, when you
Yeah,
step
Real
into
Adult
that
was.
though, you don't know everything about being a leader when you first step into it. But you taking that first step
Right.
initially makes you now if I take that
Oh
first step
no,
because so
no, we're
so
not
that's what I'm
saying the
trying to
same
figure out what
thing.
you're saying.
No, no. I'm saying,
Hmm.
so let's say you are a leader. Let's say you have 10 people who follow you and you're their leader. They profess Forrest is my headship. I yield to him. I lean on him. I learn from him. And he
Right.
kind of directs my steps, not in a way of dictatorship, but kind of guide me and say, hey, don't do this, don't do that. Okay, you should do this. Okay, I run ideas by him and he tell me, okay, if he give me a stamp of approval, I'm doing it. If he say don't do it, I just shy away from it because I think Forrest knows a little bit more than I do. So I yield to his expertise. That would mean they're your followers and you're their leader.
There's
You could
but there's
then
go ahead.
you could then groom one of them for leadership. You could see something in them and say, you know what? I think, I want to take you on as my protege. I think you have what it takes to be a phenomenal leader. And we need to send you through this leadership course so you can understand what being a leader is all about so that you can develop and become such. Then that will be you giving them the opportunity and them stepping into it. That doesn't mean they know how to lead yet. That doesn't mean they have the skills yet, but they're stepping into this role and you're going to start delegating to them responsibilities and tasks, putting them sometimes in uncomfortable situations, putting them in situations where they're going to fail. And then you're testing their resolve. You're watching from afar or maybe even up close and personal, and you say, hey, I didn't tell you, but that was a test. I put you through a gauntlet and I believe you developed some skills. So I had to put you through I put you in a scenario where you should be able to lean on your tutelage, on your studies, on your understanding of the things you've learned. And they may fail and they may succeed, but that's them going through the maturation process. But they stepped into it, but they're not a leader yet. They're just given the opportunities to sharpen and develop their leadership skills.
I think we're actually saying similar things. I just think we're talking about two different forms of leadership. You're talking about literal leadership. I'm talking about something else. Because there's something in me, bro, that I just can't get with the message of I need other people to validate me being a leader. Real leaders don't think like that. They just don't. That's not how
Well,
they
how do
that's
real
not how they
leaders
see
think?
it.
Ooh, that's a good question. How do real leaders think?
A real leader steps into something and okay, I'll say it like this. So let's say me and myself and I, right? Um there was a young man that I knew growing up, and this dude to me was super dope. Like he knew who he was. He wasn't a game banger. He wasn't a dope boy. He wasn't a pull man, which is a trigger man, hit man, whatever you want to call him. He wasn't any of that. He was just his own man. Not man. He was about 18 or something like that. I was like 14, 13. But my big sis had a crush on him at the time. She had a big crush on him. But I always noticed him because he was just his own man. Now, he stepped into that not because he wanted to be a leader, but he said, listen, I know who I am, and I'm going to lead by example that you can be yourself and still be a super dope individual. Now, over time, he became that dude. He became that nigga. He did. You know what I'm saying? Because naturally, you just walk into that. But he had that within his heart, whether people acknowledge it or not, because he knew who he was. So I can't, and I'm not saying all this because of that one example in my life, but that's just a example. Like a leader does not need validation from people that he didn't even notice before he even became who he was. Like 9 times out of 10, when people flock around these people you're referring to, I don't even know these people. They saw a man, a person that they rock with, and they said, bro, I could rally behind that. So I need day validation I didn't know 5 hours ago to make me a leader. Like that doesn't make that's not adding up to me. I just me personally, and we're talking about two different forms here. So I get your side of it. Literally, you cannot be a leader without followers. We all understand that. My thing is the journey to becoming that and getting to that place, you have to already be a leader within you to make that happen. You can't just wake up one day and say, oh, I got three people that want to follow me. Cool, now I'm a leader. That ain't how that works.
Well, see, and I push back on that idea because the way I look at it is this: you can arrogantly call yourself whatever you want to call yourself,
Hmm.
and it may pan out that you become the thing you called yourself. That don't mean you always knew you were a leader. I think it's crazy for somebody to say, I'm a leader, I'm not a follower. Okay, you might not be a follower, but you are definitely not a leader if you don't have any followers. So you can aspire to be a leader. You could aspire to trailblaze. And see, I look at it more like a trailblazer.
Okay, good.
People can trailblaze, walk their own path, march to the beat of their own drum, and not follow anyone. They can be a loner. But I think trailblazer is a better word because when you march to the beat of your own drum, you're trailblazing. And maybe people may see how you move and be like, all right, cool. I like that. I want to attach myself to that. But you are not a leader. You cannot, it is mathematically impossible for leaders to exist without followers. So trailblazers could exist. You don't
Right.
have to have a follower to be a trailblazer.
Okay.
I think that's where our disconnect is. I think you're talking about people trailblazing and you're using the word leader.
Well, not quite, not quite, because trailblazing, to your credit, sounds very similar to what I'm saying. I'm saying whether you're trailblazing, leading, whether you are the tip of the spear, whatever euphemism you want to put to it, doesn't matter. My thing is you can't be that or become that or step into that if you don't already have that within you.
Well, I
I don't know about
understand.
anyone else, but I don't see people following bums. Now I do see people following people that are charismatic and they have the wrong message. I fixed it. I see people following others that are charismatic with crazy messages. I get that part of it. But if you a straight up bum and you have no depth, you have nothing to offer anyone, they're not following you. You have to
Bro,
have something in you listen, I
this
haven't
is
seen
the
it with
social media era. I hear you.
I just said charisma, aura. They know how to give that off without having any depth. That's one thing. But if you just straight up bum with it, you have nothing, nothing. Not, I don't mean charisma, aura, swag, whatever you talking about. You got a big booty, you girl with a big booty. I'm not talking about that. You have nothing to offer. Literally, you don't lead. You're not seen as a standard in any way, shape, or form. You have nothing to offer anyone. They're not following you. No one is.
What I wouldn't think people will follow the type of person that you're describing because usually you follow someone because they have something that's drawing you onto them.
Right.
Um, and that's not necessarily leadership though. Um,
No, but the point I just made was if all you're saying is you need to have followers to be a leader, then we can pull I can pull randomly 20 women and men from my platform right now that have bigger followings than me and have no depth to them. But they're leaders though, is what you're saying.
they are leaders because they
Right,
have
right,
followers.
right. Now my thing is this. When they stepped into that, when they became that, when they ended up having followers, do you not agree there was something in them that made people follow them?
Yes, something in them could be
That's
that they
all
was
I'm
a
saying.
whore.
That's all I'm saying. Okay, it
No,
could be
they
good
could be
or
a
bad,
whore.
but there was something in them that made people follow him. Is all I'm saying.
Right, but the thing that's in them could be the thing that makes them bad. Could be the thing that makes them
Well, I
a
never said it was
cancer
a
on
good thing.
society.
I never said it was a good thing. It doesn't have to
I
be a good
know,
thing.
but when you say something in them, it usually insinuates there's something good, like it's a good quality in them. And it's like, no, sometimes people are willing to do something that garners attention. Like, because I'm the type of woman that's willing to show my chest, people will flock to me. Yeah, I'm also saying something, and I may not be saying anything of any substance, but because I'm talking, people attach the followers to the message when the followers are there because of the exposure. They're there
Okay.
because the woman is revealing herself. And because she seems liberated, other women say, wow, I would like to have that level of confidence. And then they follow her. They're not following her because there's something in her. They're following her because they did something that this other person wished they can do. And now they've attached themselves to that. And that will be an unhealthy attachment, but they're attached to it. And now they're being indoctrinated by the rhetoric and they don't even understand what's going on. They just like, oh, I just really like this person. It's like, what do you like about them? And they can never tell you because they'll say something stupid like, oh, they just know who they are. What? I don't know. That's why, I've had my fair share of commentary for your audience. Um, and I just look at some of the things they do. Like when we had a nice little conversation, private conversation. We could talk about it publicly because you made it public when we talked about the title of your live on
Okay.
TikTok. And it's like, all right, I see this brother. I like this brother. I see what he's talking about. I see what he's doing over there, and I don't like some things. So privately, I reach out to you, tell you what I think, and you gave it some thought or whatever the case may be, and then you pivoted. The women pivoted with you. They rock with the new change, but they gave no pushback for the old. The old was problematic, at least in my opinion. And maybe in your opinion, eventually, because you eventually changed it. But I thought it was problematic. They clearly was rocking with something that I thought was problematic. You changed it, and now I think it's dope. I think it's cool. I mean, it could be some double entendres. I don't know what the whole meaning behind it is, right? But
Yeah.
on the surface level, it looks cool to me. I think it's dope. So they get with the new message, and it's just like, well, damn, did you not have any pushback for the old message? This is how people, because they attach themselves to something that a person does, that they accept anything the person does, whether it's right or wrong. I think what you were doing was wrong, and they had no pushback for it. Now I think what you're doing is probably right, and they're just like, who gives a damn? I don't really care what he do with it. I don't care what he call it. I'm here. I'm here for all of it. So I think if you go back to something worse than what you had before, I think they will still be there as well. And even though it will represent a decline, right? Let's say what you did before was bad, just for the sake of this analogy or this example.
Yeah.
So let's say what you had before was bad. Now what you have is good. Now let's say you're like, you know what? I think I was getting a better response or having more fun when I was doing what was bad. And let's say, oh, we lost focus. Anyways, if you come back, you come back. But if not, we're gonna get to the show because the show must go on. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all for being here. Look, what I was about to say before I got distracted with the whole live stream ending on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, was there's this thing called a like button. If y'all can hit that thing called the like button, it does something. What that something is, I don't know. I just don't know. But if you hit that, that will be awesome. There's also a button called subscribe. Now, we trying to get to 225 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the Picking and Choosing podcast, take this opportunity and hit the subscribe button. Also hit that notification bell. Turn the notification bell on. We go live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to get better with every show. I think this is the best show we've done so far, even though we had some technical difficulties, because I think every show is just going to get better. So rock with us, grow with us, and be a part of it. If you hit the notification bell, you'll know when we go live. You'll also know when I do my smoke shows. So I do my smoke shows on Thursdays, not every Thursday. That's why it's important that you turn the notification bell on, because when I'm on these IG streets or when I'm on these TikTok streets, I always get somebody who ain't that smart that want to challenge me. I always get somebody who got something to say. And so I offer them to come to this platform and air out their grievances. But I always tell them, make sure you put on a helmet, tighten your chin strap, and put a mouth guard in, because I'm coming in to break your teeth. It is not going to go well for you. Do not show up ill prepared. I don't know most of the people who have smoked for me. Never met them a day in my life. They know a lot about me. They've seen my rhetoric on TikTok, Instagram, and now they've seen me on some YouTube panels. So they think they know me. So they can do their homework. Plus, we got some haters out here constantly trying to put my personal information out here in the cyberspace. So do your worst. Do your due diligence. Figure out whatever it is you need to figure out about me. I will find out about you the day of. But if y'all want to see those interactions, you got to have the notification bell on. Anyways, welcome back, brother. I don't know if you're having some technical difficulties, but we want to make sure people know to like, comment. Oh, yeah, comment too. And then also share the live stream. Tell your friends about me. Tell the haters about me. Tell the broken, lonely, tired, frustrated, what we say, broken, weary, frustrated, lonely, tired women who can openly admit they don't know what they're doing and that they need help. That is my target market. Those are the women I call losers. Those are my target market. Those are the women I have a heart to help. I want to help them women. I don't want to help you women who are married in relationships, getting the dating results that y'all want. I'm not talking to y'all, so y'all can get off my case. And if y'all don't want to get off my case, show up on Thursday. Bring that smoke. Anyways, Forrest.
What's up,
So
man?
so I think that we was talking about like trailblazing and you were saying something. I was saying something before you cut out. I don't remember the last thing I said to you, but I remember we was talking about trailblazing. Oh, we was talking about your titles. So let's say your title was bad, and then you
Mhm.
change it to what it is now, and that's considered good. And then you were like, you know what? I was having better interactions when it was bad. I'm gonna go back to it, but I'm gonna go even worse. I'm gonna I'm gonna go 10 levels deeper into the debauchery.
All right.
Think those women will rock with you when you here. They will rock with you when you go here, and then they will rock with you when you pivot and come all the way back down here.
I think they rock with it, but there would be a healthy number of them that wouldn't rock with it. Now,
Healthy
I'm being
number,
honest
like
with you.
what? Like 50% healthy?
Yeah, something like that. Because bro, you have to remember, like my platform began, and to your credit, to what you said, it was kind of true. I wasn't, I don't call it pandering, I don't call it simping, but I was being very one-sided, so I wasn't so much saying like, ladies, y'all are always right. Never said that. I wasn't pumping their heads up like, ladies, these niggas trash. I was never saying that. But I was holding men accountable without holding the women accountable. So that's a very imbalanced message, right? So y'all called it simping and pandering. I just said, bro, I'm just talking to men right now. You know what I'm saying? So when I switched and made it a thing where I talk to both, like my platform split. Like what I need men to know, and especially men that people think are panderers, these women are not like what y'all think, bro. Like a woman will rock with me, Will, for like 2 years. The minute I'd say that, listen, she could have done that better, they would turn on you quick. Cause in their hearts, they're not really like that. So you're speaking as though these are like my harem of women. Like I just control everything they do, and it's not like
Yeah.
that. What it
No, I get you. I fully understand. You ain't got to tell
Yes,
me. I
that's
know
what I'm
what
saying.
you're
So I
saying
get
is
so,
true.
but if I really did pivot and go back to what I was doing, the demon time lives, and I went 10 times worse with it, like all gas no brakes. Yeah, they have something to say about it. They would.
Your
I'll face a
platform
lot of
will
backlash.
grow.
You said what?
Your platform will grow if you do that exponentially.
I don't. I don't. I don't believe so, bro. Because okay, I get that social media and content is all about going viral. I get that. I know it's about a moment. I know it's about being messy, I get that. I get all that. But based off of what I talk about in my videos and what I give off, if I did that on live, it would not grow because it would clash. That's why I had to stop doing it because it would clash. It was clashing. So I don't think it would grow. I think it would cause a lot of confusion, but it
No, you
wouldn't.
will have to give up something. You have to give up one of the thing that's making it clash because
I don't.
the OnlyFans model, she can be out here talking about something debaucherous and is going to get attention. And then you see her, maybe she's on OnlyFans, and you see her on Instagram preaching a message, but she advertises through her Instagram that she also does OnlyFans. But let's say on her Instagram, she's talking about something positive, and then they see her in this duality. It's like, nah, she looked fake and phony now. So she's gonna have to let one of them go. She's gonna have to let the debaucherous world go, or she's gonna have to let the what she really wants to be, which is a positive light, go, because she can't live in light and darkness at the same time. So the moment she decides to embrace the darkness, the light is going to dim. Now, if she
That's fair.
decides
Yeah,
to embrace the light, she's going to have to close the darkness. She can't live in both. But if she was to embrace the light, her followership might be this. She embraced the darkness, it's going to be an ocean. Anyways, we could talk about that another time, but because I definitely would like dive in that a little bit more. But we're gonna get to this next thing real quick. What are consistent traits amongst leaders?
you've been on leadership a lot lately.
I am, bro, because
consistent, consistent.
we have a problem in our society where people keep calling people leaders that are not leaders. If men are the leaders, then they should all exude whatever traits that's about to come out your mouth.
So I would say a couple of them. Integrity is one for sure. I'm big on integrity. Um, Empathy is another one. I'm big on empathy. You know that communication and being self-aware. Great leaders are self-aware, and I also say resilience. I say resilience. I say those are my main five: is integrity, communication, self-aware, resilience, and definitely empathy. Those are a solid five to start with. There's many more, but
You
that's
know,
why
it's
I'm starting.
funny. So
What's
watch this.
up?
I'm gonna jump ahead to my next look. Here's my next one. Look,
What's up?
look,
Wait, I can't see the screen. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
look what's on the screen. This is this.
I can't see it.
So
Wait.
when you said the traits, right? So my
Oh, okay. I
question was,
see.
I
I
put
see.
on
My
here,
fault.
what
My
are the
fault. My
consistent
fault.
traits amongst leaders? After you mentioned integrity, empathy, communication, self-aware, resilience. Look what I got: courage, integrity, communication. Now, look what's next. Oh, damn! I didn't mean need. I meant to say are. Let me edit that. Dang, how I messed my leaders are. Oops. Damn, what happened to my okay. So I actually typed it wrong. Look, leaders are empathetic. And then the next one, being a leader is about sacrifice. So I'm just jumping ahead because I don't want to I we derailed a little bit talking about that other stuff, and I wanted to talk more about just leadership stuff. So you said leaders have integrity, empathy, are good communication, self-aware, and resilience. I'm saying that leaders they have courage, integrity, they're good communication with speaking and listening, they're empathetic, and they is about sacrifice. So when you say self-aware and resilience, I think that goes with sacrifice. So we're saying the same things, and it's I'm
Hmm.
kudos to you, brother. So we're on the same page on what we think leaders are, but I don't
But let me
think
ask you.
most people. Go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? So if we're on the same page with that, because now I got to challenge you a little bit. If we're on the same page with that, then why does it seem? And this is not. I'm just looking by what I see elsewhere in the comments in your lives and the reactions you garner when you speak. Why does it seem as though one of these areas, you know which area I'm talking about, you just lacking in? Why does it seem like that?
because
Start with
I'm
an
not
E.
because I'm not their leader.
So you're saying that because you're not okay. So you're saying that listen, people can follow me. That makes me a leader, but I can pick and choose who I designate that I'm leading, and that dictates how I get to act.
No, no, I'm not saying that at all.
So what are you
See,
saying?
you believe that a leader exists without a follower, and they should have these traits of here. Let me put your traits up here so
Yeah.
people see it. Hold on. Um, these are the words you put up there, just so people understand this. So you believe somebody who is a leader
Hmm.
needs to have integrity, empathy, good at communication, be self-aware, and resilient, regardless on if anyone's following them. And I say, if you are practicing these things, you're just honing and developing the skill set to be a good leader
Okay.
or a leader, but you're
Okay.
not a leader. It's not until the follower shows up that all of this activates you into a leader. But when it activates you into a leader, now you will be a good leader because you have integrity, you have empathy, you are a good communicator, you are self-aware, you are resilient. That will make you a good leader. But if you lacked integrity, you lacked empathy, your communication was poor, you were not self-aware, and you lacked resilience, you will still be a leader. because a follower is present. So you want to hold me, or you try to, or you thought I should hold myself to these traits because you see leadership qualities in me. But if I'm not a leader, I don't have to have any of these skills.
So you're
I don't
not
have to display any of these things.
okay, but okay, so you're not. So you're saying you're not a leader then,
If I don't have a follower, no, I'm not a leader.
but you do. So you are. So you are.
No, no, but they have to make it known to me, because if they don't make it known to me, I'm a leader unbeknownst to me. You're right. I do not, they do not have to tell me that they're following me for me to be a leader. But for me to be aware that I'm a leader, they have to tell me that they following me. They have to make it known that they are my subjects, my students, my protege, whatever you want to call it. They will have to make that me aware of that. If they make me aware of it, then it will activate my morality to behave and conduct myself in a particular way.
That's a bit of a okay. I disagree, but okay. I hear you.
Well, you disagree with it because you put the onus on a person to behave a particular way because you
Not
call
even.
them
Not
a leader.
even. Not
Well,
even.
if
No,
you
no.
call them a leader, how do you expect the leader to conduct themselves? With
Well,
these
no.
words right
So
here, right?
no. So you're not wrong in what you just said. You're wrong how you put it contextually because you're saying that you can't be a leader unless someone tells you you're a leader. And
No,
that's
that's not what
my
I said.
whole. Well, okay, you didn't say that verbatim, but you said, "How can I
No,
call
no,
myself?"
I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying
But
you
you
can
wait,
be a leader
but
unbeknownst
didn't
to
you
you.
just say okay, wait. Didn't you just say that I can have leadership qualities, but until someone tells me I'm their leader, I'm not a leader. Didn't you just say that?
No, no. I said that you might be a leader unbeknownst to you. If you don't know people are following you and you don't see yourself as a leader, regardless on if onlookers see you as such, they can't put a jacket on you and expect you to carry yourself. We're going to use your 5 words as an integral person that's empathetic, person that's good communication, person who's self-aware, and a person who who's resilient. You can't hold that person accountable for those 5 traits because you see leadership qualities in them or you see them as a leader. Now, once you make them aware that, you know how we tell the boys in the hood, the younger generation, when the young ones is looking up to them. So like, for example, teenagers, 16, 17-year olds, they got the 8 and 9, 10 year olds at the park who actually looks up to them, because that's what happens. The young kids look up to the teenagers. They don't look to the adults unless they're like professional athletes. They usually look to teenagers, high school athletes, things like that. And the high school athletes is looking at the collegiate athletes or the professional athletes or just adults in general. It's usually a generation ahead of you who you're looking to, not 2, 3 generations ahead of you. When I was 14 years old, I wasn't looking at grandpas and 60-year-old men like, oh, that's a leader of mine. No, you're looking at the guy that's 5, 6, 7, 10 years older than you. So we tell them, hey man, the young boys is watching you, man. You got to be mindful. You set the right example. We're making them aware that they have followers because it's unbeknownst to them. They don't know that these kids are looking up to them because they don't see themselves as a leader. Now, they may think to themselves that they're not a follower, and they may arrogantly call themselves leaders just to be cocky or arrogant to not want to attach themselves to the word follower, but they're not leaders.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. So in the example you just gave, right? The older ones looked down on the younger one and said, set the example, right? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. I thought you were looking at the screen. My bad.
you good. So the younger one was a leader before he knew people were following him, which is why the older one said, "You are this." If he never would have
Wait,
asked, he or she,
let's use 3 examples. Let's say young,
hold on,
teen,
hold on,
and
hold on,
old.
hold on, hold on, hold
Well,
on.
no, I don't want to get lost in your example. Let's say young,
It's
like,
a very basic. I'm no, I don't have. I'm using your example. Your example, literally, you
right.
just said, right. So I'm using. I'm not trying to get lost in anything.
No,
I'm using
I
yours.
didn't want to get lost when you say young, because I don't know. Are you talking about teenagers? Or are you talking
I'm
about
literally talking about
kids?
whatever you were talking about. Now the context clues you made it seem like this is someone that's a young kid. That's what you made it
Okay.
seem like.
Okay.
So that's what I'm talking about. So the older one looks down on this one and says, "Listen." They see you a certain way, whatever they're gonna say, you a leader or whatever, and that's what they say. They would not say that if they were not a leader.
That's not
That's
true.
all. That's not, then why would they say it?
Because they don't want you to be a bad example for the young ones. They
But
know
but
the young
okay,
ones
but
are
if you're
looking at
okay,
you.
well, why would they tell a kid that's clearly not an example, that's not a leader, you don't want to be a bad example because they follow you?
No, no, no. Listen to me. This is what I'm saying. If they have a follower, they are bona fide a leader, whether they know it or not.
Okay.
What I'm saying is the older generation, me now, I'll be considering that older generation because I'm 43. I may look at a 16-year-old, like a nephew of mine, maybe 16, and I may have another nephew who's 8. I'm gonna say, hey, set the right example. He looks up to you. I don't even know necessarily that my 8-year-old nephew is looking up to my 16-year-old nephew, but I'm going to say that anyway to try to garner better behavior out of my 16-year-old nephew.
But Will, that's my point, Will. Just because you say something to someone, or just because I recognize what symbolism I hold to these people around me, that does not change what the definition is. The definition of leader does not say if they know their leader. It's not what it says. I can't change that. You can't change that. The definition is
I
what the definition is.
right, but
So
I'm
I know
not
you,
saying they
but
have to know that they're.
But you do these things, Will, where you like conflate words and you have these reasons and this logic that it sounds good, but it's not the definition. The definition has nothing to do with whether people know their leaders or not.
But
That's
Forrest, I
not in
said
the
that.
definition.
Forrest, I said that. I don't know if you
So,
caught it. I
but this
said
whole time you've been saying you can't be leader if no one follows you, and then you switch it
no,
up and say, well, you can't
no,
be a leader if
no.
they don't acknowledge you and
No,
tell
that's not
you.
what I said. Forrest, I
Okay,
said, I first told you I'm not their leader. That was my first thing when we were talking about me.
no, I
Then
meant
I
in
said,
general. I meant before that. Before that.
right, but I said, you can be a leader unbeknownst to you because just because someone hasn't made you aware that you're their leader doesn't mean they're not following you.
Now, Will, I'm gonna be honest, Will. I didn't hear that part because this whole convo, I'm under the guise of how you started. How you started, bro, was you said you cannot be a leader if no one's following you. And my
You cannot
response to you
be.
directly was, so you're judging leadership based off of who's validating you. That's not how true leaders think. That's
But
all
that's
I was
the
saying.
true leaders are thinking wrong then. So hear me out.
What? Oh, okay. Wow.
You're
Okay.
not a leader without a follower, but you may have leadership qualities. Your leadership qualities and your leadership training does not solidify you as a leader. You're only
But you,
solidified as a leader when you have a follower.
but we didn't talk about what solidifies you as a leader. You said what is a leader. Okay. Will, that's
Right.
now
You
Will.
a
That's a
leader
completely
just
different
has a
conversation. Will.
follower. A leader just has a follower. That's it. I don't care if they're a good leader, a bad leader, a leader that has
But
no
then you
traits
just said
whatsoever.
someone can be a leader unbeknownst to them with no following. So what?
No, I
So what?
didn't. No,
Which
I
is it?
didn't say that. No, I didn't say they could be a leader unbeknownst to them with no following. I said they can be a leader unbeknownst to them because someone is following them.
Okay.
The
Stop.
moment someone follows
Hold on.
you,
Hold on. Pause. So now let me get what you're saying. You're saying that because at one point, Will, you can't deny this. You said that unless they make it known to him, they're not a leader. But now you're saying
no,
whether
I
it's
was
known or
talking
not, they're a
about
leader.
me. No, no, no. I was talking
So how is
about
it different for
me.
you?
If Because listen, if I tell you, Forrest, that I'm not a leader, if that's what
Okay.
I tell you, if I say I'm not a leader, you may see leadership qualities in me. And you may say, Will, man, hey, bro, you a leader, man. I'm like, no, I'm not. You call me a leader. I did not call myself a leader, but you may know something that I don't know. Kim and John may be looking up to me, and you know Kim and John looks up to me. And then you tell me, hey, Will, you may not know this, but Kim and John, they look up to you, bro. You need to set a better example. Now I'm aware that I have followers. Now I'm a leader, whether I want to be one or not. Now you can say, hey, bro, now what you gonna do with that? You know these people are looking up to you. Are you still going to conduct yourself in this particular way? Are you still going to call people these things and say these things loosely without any regard for how people may feel, how they may interpret that? You need to hold yourself to task, sir. You have your morals in check, right? I'm like, yeah. You're a man of integrity, aren't you? Yeah. You're a man that's self-aware, aren't you? Yeah. You're a man that communicate well, aren't you? Yeah. Then work on your communication. And then I gotta answer that call because now I have
Well, you
somebody who is following me.
you
Right
about to make
now,
me get mine.
I keep telling y'all that people on Instagram are not my followers. I also keep telling y'all that these people have not made me aware that they are my followers. And if I say I'm not a leader, and if they're not making me aware that they're following me, you cannot hold me to a task for something I don't know. You
Who came
cannot
who
do
came
that.
up who came up with the term will lights? Was that you or said?
I think that was said. It definitely want me.
Well, you know, well, you gonna make me get my bottle, bro, because you stressful. We just had a whole 40-minute conversation where we double
Well,
back,
if you
and you
was
pretty much
listening,
just
if you
said you
worked
pretty
on your
much said
listening
what I said to
skills, we
begin
wouldn't
with.
have had to go down that
You
rabbit hole.
literally we literally had a 40-minute conversation about about different kinds of recognizing different kinds of leaders in different stages of the leadership process. When all I said from the very freaking beginning, Uncle Elroy, all I said in the beginning, Uncle Elroy, was you don't literally have to have people following you in close proximity physically to be a leader, to be leadership material. We
But I
just
never said
had a
anything about
40-minute.
close proximity. I never
Okay,
said
well,
anything about people
who
following
is
in close
Tangent?
proximity.
Is that one of your will lights, bro? Tangent?
Who?
I don't know, Tangent Thompson. That's one of your will lights. That's what it
Is
says.
that somebody in the comments?
Yeah,
I don't.
but go ahead, bro. What's the next question?
I
What's
have
the
no
next one?
idea who that is.
So we
I have no.
I
I've
can
never seen that person before in my life.
I can
Sir, this
concede because clearly you yeah your understanding of this subject is levels above mine. I'm cool with that. Let's just move on. So
I accept that compliment. Thank you, brother.
yeah, cause yeah, I'm lost. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, I think the
I'm
reason why you
lost.
lost, I think you missed a pivotal point in the conversation. You probably just didn't hear it, and so
What did I hear?
I think you didn't hear me say that you are a leader, even if it's unbeknownst to you. So I may be walking around as a leader on these IG streets, and you recognize the skill set, you recognize the following, and I don't recognize the following, nor do I call myself a leader. Now, if
And
I
this
was
is
going,
my issue with you, Will. Real talk. This is my issue with you. Because I remember you saying that, but you said that maybe 10, 15 minutes ago. We've been on this call for 40 something minutes. So now I have a database built up of your opinions and your beliefs that have nothing to do with that. So you drop it at the very end. And then talking about something, I always meant that. No, you didn't. You never, bro, you didn't say
sir,
that in the very
I've,
beginning. You didn't.
I've said this for years. You
I
can,
mean in this conversation, bro.
well, in
You
this
didn't say that.
conversation, I, well, I didn't say what exactly in this conversation.
Where my double XL at? You stressful. What's the next topic, bro? What's the next? You stressful, bro. I
Or
love you, Will, but you stressful, fam. You stressful.
I got you. Hey, listen, I get it, man. Look, I get it. I may be stressful. I may be a lot for people to handle, but I think I communicate well.
Jesus Christ.
I think I speak exactly what it is that I'm saying, and I think sometimes people just miss something, and they keep going, and then next thing you know, we be down a rabbit hole, and they be like, look at what you did. I'm like, what I did. I, we could have solved this 20 minutes ago because I said.
All right, then
So
let's
anyways,
put it. Let's put this to
mhm.
rest. Then, Will,
Yeah, let's put it to rest. It's cool.
you're saying that you cannot be leader without followers, correct?
Yes, you can't be a leader without followers.
No, I'm
You can
saying
have
no. You're
leadership
saying you
skills.
cannot be a leader without followers. You're saying that,
You
right?
cannot be a leader without followers or a
Okay.
follower.
Okay. Cool. I'm saying if you are a leader, you will have followers. Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
Okay, then. That's all.
but
It's hey, see, you doing it
no,
again.
but you only
Because
became a leader.
what you do is you say, listen, I agree with, I can get what you're saying, get what I'm saying, but what I'm saying is more important than what you're saying, and here's why.
No,
You do
that's
that a
not what I'm
lot,
saying.
bro. You
No,
do, Will.
listen,
You always
Forrest.
do that.
Forrest, I say you cannot be a leader without a follower. You then say if you are a leader, you have a follow, you have followers or follower or followers. And I'm saying yes, I agree with you. But I'm adding to it that you're only that leader because of that follower. The
Okay, you
moment
saying that, and us going on a 30-minute conversation about why that's more important. Is that really more important though? That's
it
what we
is
just
more
did, literally.
important, it is. That's not what I was trying to say, but it is more important. Let me tell
You
you
just,
why it's more important. Let me tell you why, real quick, and then we can move on.
uh-huh.
If you have all these skills that you talk about, high integrity, high empathy, great communicator, very self aware, and very resilient, then you have the traits that you believe. And I'm not debating if these are the right traits or not, but we're going to go with these are the 5 traits. If these are the 5 traits of a leader, or that leaders have, and you have those 5 traits, it's like, great. You have the leadership skills, the leadership qualities. But because you don't have a follower, you're not a leader. The moment you get one follower, you automatically activate into a leader and a good leader because you have the traits to be a good leader. The moment that follower decides they're not following you anymore, you're no longer a leader. You're just a guy with leadership qualities. You're not a leader, though. But I digress.
Bro, I bet you never lost a debate in high school. Boy, I bet they hated to
I
see you
never,
coming. They
I
hated
never
to see
lost
you
a debate.
coming, boy. They,
I've never lost a debate in my entire life.
wait a minute now. Hold on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because
Well,
some of your
sir,
people in this
I'm
live have
sorry.
seen you lose, bro.
You
Don't
talked
do that.
about a period of time of my life in high school, and I just wanted to reference my entire duration of my life. So I get that you may see it a different way, and that's fine. But the reality is, I've never lost. If this was a debate between you and I right now, I will be winning. But this is not
Well,
a
no,
debate.
because it's not. Yeah, that's why I'm not really trying to go at you. Or I'm not doing that. We're just talking.
No,
But
it's not
in
about
the
us going
times
at
that it
each
is a
other. It's just
debate,
about us speaking to a topic, right? It's not about us
yeah,
going
yeah,
at
yeah.
each other. I think that's what a lot of people get debates mixed up. They think it's about going at each other. No, it's about the topic of discussion. So we're talking about the topic. But anyways,
But if it was a debate, though, history will repeat itself. You know that. It's all right, though.
okay, I accept. I accept. So look, here's the thing. Well, hold on. A little brief intermission. Again, thank you for being here, my brother. I appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, on the live stream, those of you on Facebook, those of you on Instagram, and those of you on YouTube. I am moving off of these social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok for the most part, and I'm going to be parking over here on YouTube. If you are not subscribed to the Picking and Choosing podcast, please take an opportunity to subscribe to the Picking and Choosing podcast. We're going to talk about things in a healthy way. I'm going to enlighten you guys on some things. At least if nothing else, I'm going to enlighten you on my perspective. You may agree with it, you may not agree with it, but your eyes more than likely will be open because I'm going to help you see in a different way. I'm not an ordained minister. I'm not a pastor. I didn't go to seminary school. I didn't graduate college. I'm not no speaker. I have no credentials. I'm just some weirdo on the internet with an opinion and a perspective that just happens to be better than most people walking God's green earth. So that may
That's
sound
crazy,
arrogant
bro.
to y'all. Wait, sir. What's crazy about that?
It's just. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Bro, I think I get on social platforms or the internet to speak and for people to listen. I don't really get on here for people to teach me. Now on YouTube, I can learn some things. On social media, I don't go over there to learn anything. I don't. I may learn something while I'm there, but I'm not there to learn anything. I'm there to talk. I'm there to teach. Now, over here, I'm going to take more of that leadership approach because y'all keep bringing to my attention that I have followers. So I want to be responsible. I want to do the right thing. But anyway, so I'm going to get to the meat and potatoes of this live for us. You can camp out and listen and chime in. Ladies and gentlemen, after I give my little soliloquy, y'all feel free to send a request and join the live stream if y'all want. Forrest, if you want to stick around for the rest of the duration, please, my brother, stick around and chime in. But I'm going to open the floor for anybody to question me on anything, to give their 2 cents. It's just going to be an open discussion. So let me just speed through this. We may have to do another broadcast because we may need to talk about this. We don't have enough time to really go deep into it today, but I'm going to speed through it today because I think the conversation with my brother Forrest was, I think it was a good conversation. I want to stick with that a little longer than moving on to what I want to talk about. So thank
Most
you again,
definitely.
Forrest. Appreciate
I'll
you, my
stick
brother.
around for a little bit. Maybe
All
like
right, cool.
10 minutes.
So I gotta find my notes. I texted to myself. Oh, here we go. So look. What are consistent traits amongst leaders? I told you guys courage, integrity, and communication. That's speaking and listening. A lot of times people think I don't listen. I do listen. I could prove to people that I listen all the time because I'm able to box people in. I'm able to put people in boxes based on the things that they say. Now, I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't listening. And a lot of people will say things like, oh, you're just listening. You're not listening to understand. You're listening to respond. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm actually listening to understand. That's why I'm asking you all these questions. I have questions pertaining to what you said. How can I ask you questions about what you said if I'm not listening? So I think people need to slow down and realize I am listening. Get out your feelings and just communicate. Speak clearly, be concise, answer questions directly. Stop talking about how you feel in your response, and people won't get lost in the mess. Stick to the talking points. Stick to the main thing. Let the main thing be the main thing. Anyways, um, leaders have to be leaders have to have empathy and perspective. If you don't see things, you don't need to see things to become a good leader. You need these things when you are a good leader. So you don't. Sorry, I'm perspective and empathy, right? So when you are empathetic and you have perspective, you don't need those things to become a good leader. You don't need any of that to be a leader. All you need is a follower to be a leader. But once you are a leader, if you want to be a good leader, you have to be empathetic. You have to have perspective. So the perspective part for us is, like you're saying, being self-aware. Obviously, the empathetic part is what you're talking about with empathy. If you don't have those things, it's going to be impossible for you to be a good leader. But you still can be a leader nonetheless because you have a follower. Um, Being a leader is about sacrifice, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about just, a lot of women like to talk about guys like, oh, you a man, you the leader. Men are supposed to be the leaders. Yeah, y'all like the men being the leaders because y'all do recognize that leaders are to sacrifice. More important than sacrificing, they're to be the sacrificial lamb when things go south. When things go right as a leader, you have to defer. You have to give away the credit. Like I made a comment about my daughter last night. My daughter was reading. She's 3, and she just turned 3, and she can read almost any word in a dictionary, it seems like. And I said, I can't take any credit for this. Now, we do what we can as parents to try to foster a healthy environment and a learning environment, but I can't take credit for that. But if my daughter was to be struggling in life, I have to take the blame. See, leaders get blamed when things go wrong, but they don't necessarily get praised when things go right. Some leaders do, but most leaders lead in the shadows. They get no credit. You never hear about their heroic efforts. You never hear about the sacrifices that they made, but let them fail. We need somebody to point the finger at. We're going to point the finger at the leader. So heavy is the crown, or heavy is the head that wears the crown. So don't jump to be a leader. All you cats is like, yo, I'm the leader. Okay. All right. It's almost a thankless job. Leaders are not responsible for the job. Understand something. Leaders are not responsible for the job that needs to be done. Leaders are responsible for the people who do the job. So for us, like think about like corporate America. People are employees and then they get promoted to management, supervisor, whatever.
Right.
And a lot of people hate their supervisors. They hate their managers. There's a reason why they hate their managers and supervisors, because their managers and supervisors are not leaders. They're really good at the job. And so now what they do, they critique you with a fine tooth comb. They know everything you should be doing, and all they highlight is the things you do wrong. They rarely praise you for when you do something right. And employees are constantly looking to be praised, looking to be acknowledged for the effort that they put in, for the job well done that they did. And people who get promoted out of an employee position, they don't necessarily know how to lead people. But now they're in a leadership position, or what's perceived to be a leadership position, but they're not leaders, they're managers. The people who the manager report to generally is the leader, because the leader leads people who do the job. And managers tend to be higher paid people who do the job, who just have more responsibility or more jurisdiction, or so to speak. But they're still usually employee mindsets. When those people who get promoted to manager, when they start acting like leaders, then you'll see that the interaction between them and their employees change drastically, because they're no longer doing the job. They're no longer critiquing the job. They're now leading the person who does the job. If you look about this, think about this in terms of in a relationship. My woman is responsible for my children, not me. She is responsible for them. I'm responsible for her. She does the job. Let me keep it in consistent terms. My woman's job is to take care of my children. She's to feed them, bathe them, clothe them, teach them, do all those things. And I'm supposed to lead her in doing that. The moment I start dealing with my kids directly all the time, this is why relationships are so messed up. Because the moment I'm so hands-on with my kids, I'm effectively not leading my woman anymore. I'm doing her job. Now, I know, Forge, you might have some pushback against that, and some other people might have some pushback when they cam up.
Oh, most definitely. But go ahead, cook. Go ahead, cook.
Feel free to give the pushback. But if I'm the leader, ladies and gentlemen, my job is to lead the person who does the job. That doesn't mean I don't have any say. I don't be involved in any capacity. But when you put the responsibility on me, when you try to split parenting and say each parent should be doing 50-50, well, then the man's not the leader anymore. The moment you allocate a man to doing 50% of the child rearing, he is no longer the leader by default, because nobody looks at a person as their leader when they have the exact same job title as them.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So, do you think that there are things that a man can teach a child that a woman can't?
Absolutely.
So, if the man is not going to be 50% hands-on with the teaching and the raising, don't you think that would produce an imbalanced child if they don't have the same amount of time to develop that skill that the man needs to teach?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because I think it promotes another healthy dynamic that y'all don't ever talk about,
Which is what?
Structure and order. See, kids right now think they damn parents' friends.
Wait, don't let's not get distracted. I'm not talking about the danger of a woman doing too much. I'm talking about the danger of a man not doing enough with his child.
But I never promoted a man not doing enough. I said he doesn't do 50% of what a woman does.
Let me rephrase. I'm talking about okay. I rephrase. My fault. I'll rephrase.
Well,
I'm referring to a man. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm referring to a man not doing as much as a woman's doing and helping raise a child. If the man if the man can teach things to a young man or young woman that the woman can't, but he's not allowed that the same amount of time to do so, won't that produce an imbalanced child?
Yeah, and that man is neglecting his responsibilities because
okay, go ahead.
It's a woman's job. Okay, a child has a lot of development that they must undergo, but there's certain things they get it from their father. See, when you have your father hat on, you don't necessarily have the leader hat on. And I think y'all don't realize those are two different titles. Y'all keep trying to make leader and father one and the same. Father and leader are two different titles. When I have my leadership hat on, do not try to pull on my heartstrings as your father. When I have my father hat on, I'm going to let you get away with things that I should not let you get away with as a leader. Would you agree or disagree?
I disagree. I honestly believe you're reading a little bit too deep into that, bro. Like you're talking about now, you're talking about the need to be able to code switch and to responsibility switch based off of things that you don't even really have control over. Like there will be times, Will, and Dave. Now I'm not a father, so I can't talk to you about this. But I'm saying, how my mind works is there will be times when your child or your wife needs you to be what she needs you to be, or the child needs you to be what they need you to be. You can't tell them that day, well, I'm not that person on this day. You got to wait.
No, you have to take that leadership hat off sometimes, and you have to see. I've had this problem.
When did God say separate being a man and being a like? When did God say do that?
I don't know.
So
I don't know.
So then
when did God say men are leaders?
I could point exactly where it says it, but we're not talking.
I didn't say he didn't. I'm asking when. When did he say that?
He said that all throughout the word, bro. It's all throughout the word. My question to you is this: you just introduced a way of life that men should live, especially men that have children should live. My question is, where on earth did you get that from?
Uh,
I haven't. Well, I haven't. I'm not gonna lie, Will. I've never heard that day in my life, ever in life, in any
didn't you hear me
conversation, any
say?
movie.
Didn't you hear me say over here? I open people's eyes.
Well, that wasn't meant to be a compliment, big bro. Let me
I,
just answer
I,
my
I didn't say
answer
it
my
was a
question.
compliment.
Where did
I'm just
that
telling
come
you what
from?
I do.
Well, where did that come from, Will? Where did that come from?
It came from me
Okay,
watching,
okay.
paying
Wait.
attention, being observant, seeing what works and what doesn't work. I failed miserably at times because I couldn't take off my leadership hat. I failed in my
Okay.
previous marriage because I couldn't take off my leadership hat. But
So okay,
but
can I ask you a question real quick?
yeah, go ahead.
What's wrong with saying, you know what, I should have been a more balanced man? Because before I'm
That's
a
what I'm telling
husband,
you right
before
now. Are
I'm
you not listening?
well, that's not how you framed it. So I was a little
I
confused. It's
said
my bad.
I failed because I didn't take off my leadership hat. How was that not me making you aware that I was supposed to put
Because
my
you framed this like a man shouldn't even be too hands-on with his children. I'm like, wait a minute,
I didn't frame it that way. That's how you interpret it. I said not be 50%. I never said don't be involved with your kids.
I never said that you said I never said that you said don't be involved. What you said to us collectively is that you as a man should not have the same amount of time that the woman has with the children. That's where I had pushback. I'm like,
You
how?
shouldn't. That's hard for you to understand, but you shouldn't.
My question is, where does that come from? Is it
I'm
just your
telling
experience?
you,
Is
my
just your
live,
experience?
listen, me being observant, me watching, kids don't need their father as much as they need their mother early on. They do not. If my kids, my little babies, I have one that's about to turn one and one that just turned three. They don't need me that much. They need to see me, they need to smell me, they need to hear me, they need to know I'm present or I'm around. But they don't need me all day, every day. If I go out of town for 2, 3 weeks at a time, that will be just fine as long as my woman's in a safe environment. Now, my other two kids are 15 and 20. They need me like their life depended on it, but you can't tell them that. My little ones, they see me, they light up like a Christmas tree. My oldest two, they give a damn if they see me. If they see me, they see me. If they
So
don't, they
Will,
don't
Will,
because they've been conditioned that they don't need me.
okay, but Will,
See,
here's my thing, Will. What you're saying, I get what you're saying. I do. I think the problem I have is you're saying that almost as if we all have a baby delivered to us, or they're going is going to be a sure thing they'll go into a young woman or man that we can predetermine who they'll be, how they'll be, what they'll need. That's unpredictable. So what worked for you and your kids may not work for Blackout and Badass Sag and Phil Jr.'s children. That's not so. But you telling people as though this is the standard way of life that you should live because I think this way. That's why I'm asking, where does this come from?
wait. What's the standard way of life that I said that you need to live? What can
You
you repeat my
you
standard?
ju- you just said it. You just said that men should not spend as much time with the kids as women at a certain age. And I'm saying that might have worked for you. Cool. I'm not trying to invalidate your experiences. I'm not saying that.
What?
But what I am saying is you can't say that as though all people's kids are the same because they're not.
No, I'm not saying that all people kids are the same. I'm saying structurally, kids don't need their father as hands on in these early ages like they need their mother.
Okay,
Their
that
mother,
right there, I don't believe is wise for you to say because you
well,
just
that's
said I
fine. Listen, bro, I don't. I'm a trailblazer.
for sure. For sure.
I don't try to walk around being a leader. See, leaders have to have. Look, here we go. What we say? Leaders have to have integrity. Leaders have to communicate well.
He did switch
Leaders
it up
have
a
to
little
make
bit,
sure they're
Sag. He
speaking
did.
and listening and be mindful how people try to be mindful how people may be interpreting certain things. Because I'm trailblazing, I'm forging a path, and those who see where I'm going and what I'm doing, they be like, you know what? I need a ticket on that train. Now, when they get on that train, I'm like, yo, I thought it was just me here. So y'all get with this? Okay, let me be mindful. Let me try to massage what I'm saying amongst y'all. Now, when I get out there in the world, now y'all gonna hear me say some things. I need y'all to take heed that I'm not talking to y'all. Don't get in y'all feelings. Like, for example, I have perspective against the homosexual community. I got thoughts about them, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to a gentleman today, and hopefully he's going to be on the show sometime soon. And I was talking to him about he's a homosexual man. We were talking on the phone. He has my phone number. It was an Uber driver that I met. I'm not saying he's an Uber driver, but he was driving Uber. He's a photographer. I think he's super cool. I don't know enough about him, but I'm going to comb through his social media. I'm going to learn as much as I can about him from his social media posts. And then I'm going to try to conduct somewhat of an interview to ask him questions to learn about him. Now, I hope he doesn't get offended by some of the stuff I say on social media if he come across some of the content. I think for the most part, I'm responsible with it. But I told him, I pulled up punch. I don't agree with the homosexual lifestyle whatsoever. But I don't condemn the people who are homosexual. If they're not spreading and pushing that this is how kids should be. As long as they ain't doing that, I'm cool.
So this is probably where I get the confusion going in my mind. Where it is, you will repeatedly say and consistently uphold this stance of I'm not a leader, I'm not a leader, I'm not a leader, I'm not a coach, I'm not a coach, I'm not a coach, but you constantly seek out opportunities to debate, to educate, and teach people. So what
Right.
are you? What are you then? Like what do you if you really didn't care like that and you laugh it off, man, I don't give a F with it, then why do you do it every day?
Sir,
You
I'm sorry.
seek this out.
I'm sorry that your listening skills ain't quite up to par today.
Oh my
I
God.
said I do have a heart for losers, but only the people who can. Female. Oh, you wasn't here when I said all this, but you should have heard me say this before. I said it 1,000 times on Instagram.
Okay.
Females
Mhm.
who are African American or Black or Native or melanated, whatever they call themselves, the people who look like me that are female,
Yeah.
by target market, who are losers.
Mhm.
The women who can openly say, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, I'm weary, I'm lonely, what's that? Tired, I'm broken, I'm tired, I'm broken, I'm frustrated, I'm weary, I'm lonely. I can openly admit I don't know what I'm doing and that I need help. When a woman can profess those 7 things, that is who I'm talking to. Unfortunately, people who I'm not talking to hear my broadcast. And because they hear a broadcast, they think they have to respond to the broadcast. And that's how they end up on a smoke show getting decimated. Because I tell them, this message was never intended for you. I told you when I met you, I'm not talking to you, but you persist on telling me how I'm wrong, persist on telling me how I need to change this, that, and the third. Well, you show me the person who I'm talking to that is complaining about how I'm talking. And when the people I'm talking to who can admit that they're the target market of who I'm talking to and that they say I need to change what I'm talking about, then I may consider changing. But until my target market tell me that they have a problem with my message, I think it would behoove me to not listen to people who does not contribute to me financially, does not have there's not my target market that I'm trying to help, does not want my help, do not think I'm qualified to do this, that, and the third. I would be a damn fool to change what I do because of their opinions.
Well, I said it yesterday. I say it again. I never met I've never met a man, bro, that needs to clarify. Like half of your speeches, half of your lives, you clarifying stuff. Like when I talk to my OGs and I do my lives, don't ain't no clarification needed, bro. As long as them got to be explained, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you do so much dancing and conversations, bro. It's just it made me drink every time we talk. In
All
fact,
right,
I done
bro.
got like 5 gray hairs because of you, bro. I ain't gonna lie, at least
Okay,
5.
well, look, we get close to the end. I gotta wrap this up. So let me just read through it. I'm just gonna read through it. I'm not gonna give any commentary. Maybe I'll do another show to elaborate on some of this stuff that I'm about to say, but I'm just gonna read through it because we got 25 minutes and we probably gonna go over. If people come up, I'll extend it if people come up and it's a good conversation. But I want y'all to know that I try to stop my live streams at 2 hours because I don't think I'm polished enough to just conduct a 3-4 hour long live stream. Like I haven't even been looking at the comments. I don't even know what y'all saying. So I'm gonna take a pause after I read this, read the comments, and I'm opening up for anybody that want to cam up. All right, so let me
They
read.
rocking with you, but I'm a cam down though because I have to get ready for my live, right?
All right, bro. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right.
All right, bro. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm gonna start over from the top. What are consistent traits amongst leaders? 1, courage. 2, integrity. 3, communication. That's speaking and listening. Leaders need to have empathy and perspective. You don't need these things to become a good leader. You need these things when you are a good leader. Being a leader is about sacrifice. When things go right, you give the credit away. When things go wrong, you take responsibility for the blame. Leaders are not responsible for the job. They are responsible for the people that are responsible for the job. I.e., a woman is responsible for the relationship. That's her job. That's the job. The man is responsible for the woman. That's a major difference in responsibility. See, the job itself cannot do wrong, but people managing the job can be extremely problematic. So the leader, the man, is responsible for things that can go wrong. The manager, the woman, is responsible for something that has to yield to her manipulation. Now, I really want to break that down. But I said I'm just going to read through it. And if y'all want to cam up, you know what? Let me go ahead and post the link. So by the time I look up, whoever wants to join the live stream, they can be up in here. So link is being posted right now, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. The floor is open to anybody that want to cam up. You don't have to wait for me to finish. You can send your request right now to cam up. Boom. There's the link right there. It's highlighted in the comment section. All right, let me finish this. Let's make this relatable to families. Men are not responsible for children. Men are responsible for the people who are responsible for children, which are women. Women are responsible for children. So when children do something great, women should get the praise because women typically are the ones who garner that success. Ultimately, the children do something great. Men should get the praise because men created the environment, gave the women the tools, and developed the structure for women to implement said structure into the children. Notice how when things go south, we always blame the father. When a kid grows up like LeBron James and make it to the NBA, we get, I say, I'm not going to get no commentary. Ooh, let me finish reading. Here's the last segment and I'm done. This one is a little lengthy. So we've created an environment in our society where it's shameful to be wrong. It's shameful to not know. It's shameful to make a mistake. It's shameful to admit that you need help. Now, when dealing with the mental health aspect, we have not created that environment. We've done the exact opposite. We encourage people to admit that they have traumas. We encourage people to admit that they've made mistakes and that they don't know how to fix it. We encourage people to seek professional help. And we even do it in careers. We ask for help. We go to college. We network. We try to capitalize on nepotism, etc. But we don't do that in the aspects of dating and relationships. The mere thought that when I coached women, I said I'm here for the women who are tired, lonely, broken, frustrated, weary, can openly admit they don't know what they're doing and that they need help. I was looked at as a person preying on the weak. The women I was coaching were told they didn't need to listen to a man, that they should just trust and believe in themselves, that they should believe in God, that they should be patient, they should recognize their worth, they shouldn't settle. There was zero empathy for those women. All it was ridicule, but ridicule from the alleged supporters, not the mischaracterized, sexist, and misogynist, which would be me. Mic drop. Now, I know y'all don't want to come up after I said all that, but the floor is open. For any of you brave souls that want to come up here and challenge me on anything I said, I'm here to listen. And if not, within 20 minutes, we'll end this live stream and I'll be within my time limits of 2 hours. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate y'all presence. I thank y'all for the comments, even though I have not read any. but I'm pretty sure you guys were having fun, maybe going back and forth, maybe agreeing or disagreeing with something I said, or just maybe talking to each other about different ideas and perspectives. So, anyways, the floor is open. Feel free to cam up if you want. You don't have to turn your camera on. Clearly, Forrest was here the whole time and his camera was not on. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start reading some of these comments, kind of get caught up with what y'all was saying. I'll put some of them on the screen, and then we can have the discussion if any of y'all want to come up. Oh shoot, Jaquita, what's up? Long time no speak. Hey, I've been in this skin out here pissing people off. What's up, cuz? Cousin. Oh, we got the Fox in the building. Who this? The homie? Who that? That ain't my homeboy, is it? I don't know. I don't know. Is that Cash Lee Kelly? I don't know if that's Cash Lee Kelly. We both from the 219, though. That's Gary, Indiana, for those of you who don't know. Who else we got in here? Happy Father's Day to you, Mama Mojo. I mean, happy Mother's Day to you, Mama Mojo. Thank you for saying happy Father's Day. Damn, I'm tripping. Oh, my man Monk in the building. Hey, this real dope daddy right here, y'all. If y'all was in here, y'all heard me mention him. Yeah. Okay. You gotta follow Anton Daniels' blueprint. Who? Me? I like Anton Daniels. I don't know Anton Daniels' blueprint, though. I don't know what you're talking about. Anton hosts the show, but he's the talent. He's who people really want to hear. Yeah, Anton be spitting some jewels. You know, we got very similar rhetoric. I like Anton. I think Anton dope. I don't agree on everything he say, and I'm sure he wouldn't agree on everything I say, but I like Anton. You are shadow banned on IG. I can't see your live on IG unless I click your profile. Oh yeah, I've been shadow banned on IG for a long time, bro. Yeah, you might have your notifications on. Real dope. What's up, Jazz? The first 20 minutes of all his shows is him complaining about the platforms trying to work them. Bro, I don't. Hey, listen, I'm gonna take some time and I'm gonna spend some time in here trying to figure things out. All right. That's why they tell him this trash. Oh wow, my show trash. Hey, I know, I get it. What up? Baby cuz in the building. What's up? All right. Or smoke him. Real dope need to get up there. Real dope better not come up here. It ain't gonna end well for him. My man, what up, Chris? My man Chris in the building. You cannot be a leader without any followers. Leadership traits does not make you a leader. I completely agree. As long as I'm alive, I can be a leader with no external follower. That's the point you just made. I don't. Y'all hear what y'all want to hear. Because you just said you can lead yourself. No, sir. You took that out of context, but whatever. You can lead yourself all you want, but you still got to follow. Hey, y'all listening skills just ain't up to par. Look at this. Look at this. I believe you can be born with leadership qualities or traits. Some people just know how to take charge and people follow. What up, Soul? My man Soul in the building. What up, Soul? But not needing validation doesn't make you a leader. It makes you confident. Yeah, I agree. This brother Forrest just talking in platitude. Essentially, neither the action or character traits is the qualifier for the leadership position. It just qualifies the quality of leadership. The role of leader is the baseline, not the revelation. My man Soul spitting on y'all brothers. Finish the example. Is not the best show so far. Well, I think it's the best show so far, sir. You can disagree all you want. I bet you don't cam up. I bet you don't cam up and challenge what I've been saying. Well, you probably will because you're an antagonist and you like to argue. Thank you, CJ. My man CJ said it's a pretty good show. Appreciate that. Oh, Lasagna in the building. Oh, wow. And what's up? Is Xavier here too? Is Xavier in the building? You know what? I am streaming to Facebook, and I'm glad I cleaned up my act a little bit because people on Facebook don't know me in the capacity of knocking heads around on Instagram. Who else we got in here? My man Social in the building. He say picking and choosing. Leadership is best described as two separate dynamics of being born and preordained. David enjoyed leadership versus being chosen based on intangibles. Moses led reluctantly. Listen, Social, get out of my live streams trying to educate people. Remember, people don't like to hear nothing that sound right. So just get out of here. Just get out of here. I get exactly what you're saying, Will. Thank you, Miss Tanaj Thompson. Oh, I think you're the person that was pissing Forrest off. And anytime people agree with me, somehow, some way, there's some type of Willite. There's some type of crony, drone, ghoul. They just can't think for themselves. I don't get it. I don't know why people challenge what I say. It's not a good look for most people to challenge what I say. It's best for people to consume what I say, go home, marinate, think on it, and then come back and maybe ask some questions or come back and present their case. Anyways, you are not a leader without followers. True indeed. Listen to understand, not to respond. Oh, shoot, she probably was coming in. Forrest, you really don't be listening. Damn, I see why he didn't like you. Shout out to Willite University. Hey, listen, we accepting students all day long. My other cousin in the building. What's up, cuz? Good to see you. All right, let's see. New sub and greets from Germany. Oh, appreciate that. I think new sub mean you subscribe. If so, Broken Berlin, I appreciate that. I agree with what makes sense and facts. Sometimes I agree with Forrest, and there are other times I agree with Will. It has to be facts or make sense to me, though. That makes sense. I mean, I don't think anybody says all the right stuff all the time. I do make mistakes, even though my nickname is Mr. More Writer. I tell people I'm always right. I'm human. There's no way I can always be right. Yesterday was proof that you don't, but hopefully you will listen to others. I think you're talking to me, but I don't know what you're talking about. Picking it. Look, my man Social ain't no yes man. He said picking and choosing, that's false. Don't know what he's talking about. I wasn't following the comment section. Now I want to know what he's talking about. Will, you need to get into politics with all this back and forth with any closure. Picking and choosing. Did you mean without any closure? That didn't make sense to me, but okay. And maybe I will go into politics one day. I highly doubt it, but maybe. Picking and choosing, being empathetic is necessary because it fuels a leader's ability to discern another's level of lack, capacity, skill, and demonstrate something. I agree with you. Can't be a leader if you can't demonstrate something. Soul said again, he said, we would need to also qualify good leader. If good mean effective, you can also be feared and apathetic to be a good leader. Again, depending on how we qualify a good leader. So, we're gonna do another day on this because nobody sent the request, by the way, y'all. So I haven't just not let people up here. There ain't nobody in that green room. So we might do one more. We might do one more live stream on leadership. Hopefully, we can get some women to show up so we can have the conversation. Otherwise, I may wrap this up and move on to the next topic and talk about something else that will be thought-provoking. But it's hard to get people to have the conversation because I think my reputation has preceded me to the point where people think they're just going to be embarrassed. Like, I listen. I let people talk. I want to hear what people have to say. This is not to beat up on people. You might get beat up on with me just responding to the things you say. You might feel beat up on, but I'm going to be fair over here, ladies and gentlemen. This is not about clicks and getting and going viral. That's not me. I don't try to go viral. That's not who I am. Maybe it might go viral, but that's not my objective. I'm not looking for attention. I'm looking to help those people who I told you, tired, broken, lonely, weary, frustrated, openly admit they don't know what they're doing and that they need help. If that's not you, I'm not talking to you. Oh, here you are, Blackout. Okay, Will, That's why it's called two different things, a mother and a father. The woman is mothering and the father is fathering. You're right. But what are you referring to? Are you referring to when I said a man does not need to be as involved with the children as a woman? Now, if y'all have any pushback for that notion, just cam up and let's talk about it. If not, I'm reading y'all comments and I'm so far behind, so I don't really know what y'all are referring to. You on live all the time feeding and bathing kids. Does that mean your woman isn't doing her job? To some capacity, you are absolutely right. Yes, you're absolutely right. But that's going to come to an end when I get back into work full time. Right now, I'm at home most of my day. I'm at home 95% of my day. So I'm not just going to sit around and do nothing and tell my woman it's your job to tend to all these kids' needs so I can talk to these people on Instagram. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take care of my kids. I took my kids to the park today. After I got back from the park, I gave my kids a bath. So I'm involved with my kids' lives. Don't misconstrue what y'all hear me say. When y'all have questions, ask. And it's a good question. So ask, and I'll do my best to provide you clarity. I'm confused. What are you confused about? Let's see. Phil Jr. says, indeed, Will. Don't know who Phil is. Shout out to you, Phil. The man not doing 50% of the child rearing. Is that a question? Is that a statement? You changed it, Will. What did I change? I don't think y'all listen very well. Somebody said exactly for us. Okay. I agree with what Will is saying on this. Raz, whoever you are, appreciate it. Here you go with the word salad. So now I'm providing word salad. Okay. And I got a 15-year-old and a 1-year-old, Raz says. Leadership trailblazing. I'm sorry. Do you not understand that there's a difference between the two? Everything I said tonight probably went through one ear and out the other ear. I get it. Hey, you got 8 minutes if you want to come up and talk about it. Phil Jr. says, even nature shows us in the child's primitive years, they're much more reliant on their mother. But when they become around 13, they are separated from the females. I don't know how I get kicked out of my own live stream. Let's see. Oh, dang, it pushed me all the way at the bottom. Where we at? Hold on. Let me try to catch up. Oh, shoot. There's still a lot of comments. Goodness gracious. Where we at? Oh, dang. Oh, okay. I went too far back. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Okay, I think I'm almost caught up. Oh, here we go. Yep. He gotta go do his half of the child rearing, y'all. What? That's what it is, clarifying the message. Show me a person your message has helped. Let's start there. You want me to show you a person that my messages help? I'll give you a great person my messages help. You. Yo, my messages help. Wow, boy. You know what? Hold on. Let me put this link out here again. I'm about to send this link again. If you still here, you better bring your butt up here. You better bring your butt up. I just posted the link again. You need to cam up. I don't cam up. Oh, damn. As soon as I say that, I don't cam up because you don't let me talk. Talk to yourself, sir. Oh, well, makes sense. Now, I don't know. People don't listen. People don't listen. I say over here, it's not about over talking people. It's not about trying to argue and debate with people. I want people to be heard. I want to hear you out. I want to respond to the things you say. But if you want to use that as an excuse for not camming up, so be it. Use it as an excuse. I get it. I get it. Oh, you're doing a lot of talking in the comment section, though. I don't know. I mean, you want to talk to me, but you want it to be a one-way street. Got you. Why do these women not feel comfortable coming to you for help? I don't know what you're talking about. Plenty of women feel comfortable coming to me for help. Plenty of women. But it's amazing how the women who my message is not for, they shouldn't come to me for help. I don't know. Do men go see OGBYNs? OBGYN? How you say it? OBGYNs? Do men go see OBGYNs? Have any man on this in this live stream, have y'all ever went to see an OBGYN? Have y'all ever had to have a doula for yourself or a midwife? Have y'all ever had to go get a pap smear? So if you haven't, I mean, is that profession not a profession that should exist? Or is that a profession that should exist for people who need that profession? Or is it supposed to exist for everybody? I'm sorry, ma'am. The women who don't need my message should not come to me for help. Or the women who don't need my help. The women who ain't tired, who ain't lonely, who ain't broken, who ain't weary, who ain't frustrated, who can't openly admit they don't know what they're doing, who do not profess that they need help, those women should not come to me. But the women who do, how you going to help women and they run from you? I don't know why you talking to me so much. You turn women into track stars. Okay, girl, I'm gonna stop responding to you. Nah, I'm from the area though. For sure, bro. For sure. You look like my homeboy Cash Lee Kelly. Picking and choosing. Leaders either create or excel a standard. Let's see. Oh, I'm not even posting no more badass comments. This is the last one. Women ain't never showing up. They scared of Freddie. Oh, yeah, that's my other nickname, Freddy Krueger. So I got Mr. Moore Writer. I got Opinion Phobia. I got the pallbearer. I got Freddy Krueger. Obviously, y'all know me as Picking and Choosing. My government name is Will Maybon. So listen, I got a lot of nicknames in this for a reason. People love to pick and choose. That's where picking and choosing come from. People are scared for people to have an opinion. I don't fear having an opinion, but that's where opinion phobia comes from. Mr. Moore Writer comes from people want me to, they say I'm right. It's like, it's not that you're wrong, Will, it's that your delivery. So it's like, so I'm right? But you still got a problem with me being right? Oh, you want me to be more right. So Mr. Moore Writer was birthed. Freddy Krueger was birthed because people keep talking about me when I ain't around. They say I live rent-free in these people's nightmares. And then the pallbearer was introduced. The pallbearer came about because as I was a guest on my brother JR on the Lapeef Network, I was dropping people off at that dark shadowy place over there at the Elephant Graveyard. And you know, we had to introduce new sound effects for the folk. And this is what we came up with, ladies and gentlemen. It get real out here in these streets. All right, let me get through these comments. Badass, I ain't looking at no more of your comments. I'm not reading them more, looking at them. The comment was more geared to males. I apologize. I did not add that earlier. Okay. Will is funny AF. Picking and choosing. There are two types of men willing to debate you. An overly aggressive archetype that seeks to one-up you in aggression, then the non-threatening salesman in contrast to you. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. Okay. Oh, we at the end. Oh, we caught up quick. And Badass is still here because she just commented 4 minutes ago. No, yeah. Golly. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I thank y'all for rocking with me. We literally got 1 minute before we end the live stream. So we're just going to go ahead and do this thing the right way. Let me move this out the way real quick. Look, for those of you out there getting the results that you want, keep doing your thing. I'm rooting for you. I got your back. But for those of you out there that's losing, do us all a favor. Keep losing. And I'll holler at y'all. But before we go, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you share this with somebody. If you're going to watch the replay, please click the like button. Make sure you, what's the other one? Oh, turn the notification bell on because we're going to do smoke shows on Thursdays. So for those of you who disagree with me, you want to challenge me, the smoke show is for that, not here. This is where we want to have discussions and see what people are talking about, see what people got to say. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You losers know what to do. Holla at y'all.